Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. Today we are going back into the world of one Dr. Hunter S. Thompson and his book Kingdom of Fear. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this bad boy.
Serious lightning. Many years ago, 19 members of the Strange family in North Carolina were struck at the same instant when they all leaned against a chain-link fence at a July 4th fireworks display.
Yeah, not good.
They all survived, but none prospered. It was like some horrible, merciless coincidence out of the Old Testament, or extremely bad karma to millions of non-Christians.
I would tend to go with the bad karma.
Among whom I definitely count myself. I have abandoned all forms and sects of the practicing Christian church. I have seen thousands of priests and bishops, and even the Pope himself, transmogrified in front of our eyes into a worldwide network of thieves and perverts and sodomites who relentlessly penetrate children of all genders and call it holy penance.
Yeah, you can tell this book was definitely written at the beginning of the 2000s. I think it came out 2002, 2003. Yeah, that's when the whole Catholic Church scandal thing was going on. Yeah.
For being born guilty in the eyes of the church. I have seen the Jews run amok in Palestine like bloodthirsty beasts with no shame, and 6 million brainless Baptists demanding the death penalty without any trial at all for pagans and foreigners and people like me who won't pray with them in those filthy little shacks they call churches.
And yeah, and it still has relevance to today. Look at different political, theological, intertwinings along with what's going on currently in Israel. Yeah, it's, the Israelis, yes, they don't have clean hands, neither do the Palestinians. We need to get over this crap of one side is good, one side is evil. Both have good points, and both have done some pretty shitty shit to each other. So, let me get off that and let's get back into the book.
They are all like a swarm of rats fleeing a swoop fire, and I want no part of them. Indeed, I have my own faith and my own gods to worship, and I have been doing it with a certain amount of distinction for 10,000 years, like some fine atomic clock with everlasting batteries.
And, yeah, I think that's a little bit of ego, Mr. Thompson's ego coming through there. But it's very poetic, though. And the fact that he can get away with using, the language he does and the coarseness of it is because we know that he has the presence and he has a vocabulary that is expansive, to say the least, which makes it, when he does come to these more guttural terms, more debasing terms, it has more of an impact. Him, George Carlin, Ricky Gervais, Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, all had the benefit of being extremely, and the ones that are alive today are extremely intelligent, well-educated, well-versed, huge vocabulary, and are able to make us laugh with basically potty humor, because that backs them up. It kind of strengthens them. It's a weird symbiotic process.
Oops. I have wandered off on some kind of vengeful tangent here, and we don't really need it now, do we? So let us save that wisdom for later. I was talking about driving up the mountain with Anita to survey the downside of a firestorm that seems certain to destroy about half of us before the summer is over. The whole state of Colorado is officially on fire, according to the governor and a few grifters in Washington who gave him $25 million for disaster relief and emergency firefighting equipment for an endless war against fire. It was Friday morning when the sheriff asked...
That's kind of like California every year, and Texas last year. I think if we wouldn't have had Hurricane Burrell come through, we would probably be on fire again like we were last year at this time.
Me to run up the hill and investigate. You must go to Thomasville, he told me. How are we going to evacuate them when the fires come? Go all the way up to the top and see how the river's running. Also check the reservoir and tell me how deep it is. I fear we're running out of water in this valley. Why not, I thought. We can take the red convertible and load up on gin at the Rainbow. Anything worth doing is worth doing right.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with gin, though. I would probably go with Gentleman Jack or something like that. Not a real big gin fan. I do like it in small amounts, but, you know, to go adventuring, I'm more of a Gentleman Gin type person.
It had been a few days since I first heard the weird story about gangs of armed Jews roaming the neighborhood and beating the shit out of anybody who looked like an Arab. Good God, I muttered. Jews can't live at this altitude. There's something wrong with this story.
Now, as callow as Hunter Thompson can be, and that kind of strikes of kind of anti-Semitism, but at the same time, no, because in a lot of ways he's right. You don't find a lot of people at those elevations, period. So, it's, when you start breaking it down by religion, it's probably, fairly scarce on all the religions. But it's just abrupt, in your face. Here's the point, deal with it.
That is why we decided to go up to Thomasville in the first place. I wanted to check it out, and so did Anita. And so did the sheriff, as it turned out. The sheriff didn't need to deputize me because I have been a certified deputy coroner of this county for 20 years. And in Colorado, the county coroner is the only public official with the legal power to arrest the sheriff.
That is interesting. I wonder if that still holds today. The coroner can arrest the sheriff. Might not be able to do anything else, but can arrest the sheriff. That's kind of interesting.
That is the key to my oft-uttered wisdom, Henri. Politics is the art of controlling your environment. Indeed. Never forget it, or you will become a victim of your environment. Rich nerds and lawyers will stomp all over you worse than any Arab, and you will be like the 8-ball on some country club billiards table near Atlanta. Whack! Oh.
And he does have a very, very, very valid point there.
Over and out. No more humor. And so much for that, eh? Jews don't play pool anyway, and neither do Arabs. They are tribal people, which means they are primitive thinkers. They feel a genetic imperative to kill each other, and it tends to get in their way. Or maybe that brutal compulsion comes from the Holy Bible, which is definitely true. The Bible is unforgiving. There is not a scintilla of mercy or humor in the Holy Bible. None. Think on...
He does bring up some very good valid points, though. However, however rude and in your face, he still makes some very good points.
On it, Bubba. Point me to some laughs, or even a goddamn chuckle in that book. People frequently ask me if I believe in God, as if it were some kind of final judgment or naked indicator of my pro or con value in this world. Oh, that is too stupid to even think about. Like a whites-only sign on the pearly gates of heaven.
And there you have it. And I guarantee there are people in my own community that walk up and down the streets, hold public office, sit on different boards and stuff around, that believe there's a whites only sign on heaven. I guarantee it.
But not really. Don't get me wrong, fellas. That is only a whooped-up figure of speech, or maybe a failed metaphor. It is a term of art, not a term of law. If the freak who wrote the Book of Revelation had been busted and jailed for the horrible threats he made against the whole human race, he would have been executed on the spot by a military tribunal. So long, Johnny. We never really liked you anyway.
See, he does make a point there. If somebody outside of a theological context were to write something like Revelations today, they'd be considered a terrorist. Now, let that float around your brain for a minute or two or five. You know, the fact that outside of a theological set, outside the Bible, outside of the accepted American Judeo-Christian Bible, something like, if someone was to write something like Revelations posted on their Facebook page or Twitter or whatever, they would be considered a terrorist and probably arrested. Now that's kind of spooky.
Mahalo. The witness. Not everybody understands the real meaning of being brought within the system. It is legal language, the kind of talk you hear in the hallways at professional police conventions or pre-trial hearings in musty urban courtrooms. As in, the time has come, Judge, to drop the net on this loathsome criminal deviant and reel him into the system.
And I think Thompson and George Carlin were very, very similar on their views of the American judicial system.
We are talking about the criminal justice system here, and once you get brought into it, there will be a part of your brain that thinks about nothing else for the rest of your life.
As a prison guard who worked for 25 years for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, he is absolutely 100% right.
It will be as if a leech had attached itself to the small of your back forever. Just ask Bill Clinton.
Probably not. Bill, old buddy Bill done did some shady shit in his life. Yeah, old William Jefferson Clinton.
Some people call it rehabilitation, but a cop killing is always big news. Except when police kill one of their own.
And I think we'll go ahead and call this good here. I've been doing that all day, just so I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for joining me on this endeavor. Hope you enjoy the world as Dr. Hunter S. Thompson sees it. So, until next time, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?